Get off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pei.
And welcome. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa. The morning show here on KCAA, NBC News, CNBC News, NBC Sports Radio Station, AM 1050, FM 106.5, home to the Asian Oprah, number one talk in the IE. Thank you very much. And streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, PodChaser, Spreaker, and more. Why so many places? I want to maximize my splatter zone for more hope and happiness. So I have topics and guests to that end. If you missed yesterday's fabulous interview with Doors of Change, people who are actually doing something to put homeless youth, get them off the street and into the rest of their lives, feeling that they are productive members of society, then please do go and support them. And we also have a special series. So as you can see in studio today is my fabulous Wednesday co-host, Dr. Tiffanie Tate. Welcome back to the show. I got trigger happy there. She's a U.S. Navy veteran, certified OBGyn, as well as poet, playwright, children's book author, and really good peach cobbler maker. And now she's even running for Congress. So I was supposed to welcome to the show now, but I did it early. I was too trigger happy with my applause. But welcome back, Dr. Tiffanie.
Always, always, always a pleasure to be here. And happy Wednesday, everyone.
Happy. Let's start with breakfast. Take a bite of my gratitude sandwich with Dr. Tiffanie and I. Top of the bun, things we're grateful for outside of ourselves. Bottom of the bun, things we're grateful for inside of ourselves. So what are you grateful for?
I know right now things seem to be scary, and actually they kind of are, but I am still very happy that I am here, breathing, walking, talking, and I get to see another day.
I'm grateful that the planets did not crash into each other last night, so I do have the opportunity to live, love, laugh, learn, and create, innovate, be delighted, be surprised, and enjoy the deliciousness of life. How's that for lots of positivity?
Yes.
What else are you grateful for, Dr. Tiffanie?
Yes, and I'm grateful that I hosted my conversation that was sponsored by the National Organization for Women of Riverside and Win with Black Women, and it went very well. And if you didn't have a chance to come on, I'm sorry you missed it.
I know.
Yeah, I will be hosting a Zoom next month in October. So hopefully when I post the details on my social media, you can get on that and have a second conversation with me. And that will be for men and women. All are welcome. And that was very informative because people had a chance to ask their questions of me.
Beautiful. As long as it's not between October 16th and the 23rd, which is Newport Beach Film Festival. I'm doing another year of sponsorship for the Chinese Spotlight film. So keep that in mind. But I am grateful that even though I can't fly, I can still drive. I've got a gig in Las Vegas. I've got a gig to cover in Catalina Island. So we're almost over pouting the loss of the world tour, not being able to fly for a year. So there you go. That's what I'm grateful for. Let's go to the bottom of the bun, which is what do you like about yourself? So gratitude turned inwards, and still have that squeaky squirrel. Do you hear a squeaky squirrel, or is it with me?
I think it's the truck. Is there a
There
truck?
is a truck, but that's
Nope.
not what I'm talking about. Okay,
That's the only thing I
the
hear.
only one hearing the gerbil.
No gerbil. That's the
No
truck.
gerbils. Okay. The bottom of the bun is what we are grateful for to do muscle building, to to turn that gratitude inwards, so that when we go to bed tonight, this is what we want you to do: is instead of being your own worst enemy, your own worst critic, is to be your biggest fan. So what do you like about yourself, Dr. Tiffanie?
I like the fact that I am willing to go the extra mile and sacrifice my time for the greater good. And I say that because I have already started volunteering this past weekend to phone bank on behalf of Prop 50. And I've had some people say yes, that they are going to vote and support Prop 50. And I like the fact that I'm having an impact and to help change the way that things are going. Because a lot of times people just complain. And I don't want to just complain. I want to be an avenue of change. And don't just say something, do something.
Yep. Your actions are speaking so loud that I can't hear a word you're saying. Is one of my favorites. What do I like about myself? I like that in moments of panic, I can monitor my panic and still breathe and know that everything works out for my divine and best good. So my freak out factor is largely diminished these days. So even 3 minutes before a live show, I was able to chill and everything turned out great with none of the guests that I had planned. So that doesn't happen very often, but I am grateful that when it does happen, I do not lose it. What else do you like about yourself? One more.
And I like the fact that I am still able to parent with love and kindness because I have young adults. And when they're small, it's easy to just say, do this, do that, and give them guidance. But since they are now young adults, at the age that they are, you want to give them space to be themselves and to let their brains develop. But you also want to give them guidance so that they can grow into the adults that you want them to be and to make their own decisions. So you want to walk that fine line because you want them to be able to stand on their own. And I believe that I can do that in a good way to give them that space. And I like the fact that I believe that they are growing into their own.
I believe they can fly.
Right.
Yeah. My older daughter is turning 28 this week. Wow. Talk about that theme of watching them grow, knowing that, I did the best that I could with the time that I had and the resources that I had as a mom. I wasn't perfect, but I was 80% a great mom. And certainly I did a little better than my parents did. That's our only job. And so it's really good that I give myself those props and that I'm not always focused on what I didn't do well, but I will focus on what I do well, which is, something I'm grateful for. I appreciate that about myself.
Beautiful.
Thank you. All right. That's it for breakfast with myself and
Dr. Tiffanie Tate.
For Doctors in the house. Thanks for joining us for breakfast every weekday morning. I do this on the show. So 28 days to create a good habit, or 21 or 30, whatever you believe. Please join me every weekday morning for breakfast. That way you will sandwich your day in the most positive way. Thanks for joining us for breakfast. And now for the topic of the day.
Hey, you! Hey! Hey, you!
Dr. Tiffanie, what is it?
Today we are talking about focus.
Focus, pocus.
Absolutely. Because last week we talked about distractions. Now we are talking about focus. And I think it's important, don't you, Doc?
Absolutely. Focus is, I call it the most powerful tool we have as human beings, and we take it for granted and or give it away. We think there's a gun to our heads when we are doing this MS activity, meaningless scrolling. We think someone put a gun to our head, but we choose what we are focusing on when we're doing it.
Absolutely. And then I did my evaluation, but I think it's important a lot of times to say, okay, well, what is focus? It is a point of concentration, and that is the emphasis of it. And a lot of times, do we really concentrate? And how often do we concentrate? And I think it's important for us to really look at this, because in our daily lives, we come and interact and we do a lot of things, and that's the point. We do a lot of things. I know I do. I have a lot on my plate. I know the Dr. Marissa does.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
Wait. Where's that real?
Yeah.
That was a perfect time for this particular.
Mhm. Right. And so, not that we get distracted, but we have a lot of goals that we're striving for, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I figured this was a good time to focus. And even when you watch TV, or if you're doing that meaningless scrolling, there's so much information coming at you. Seriously, it's like opening your mouth and it's just flying at your face. You can only gather it in so many increments. And whether you're watching the news, there's so many headlines, there are so many distractions. And can you focus? So I figured this was a topic to really address, because the way life is coming at us so fast. What do you want to focus on? Whether it is interpersonal, whether it is professional, I figured this was a subject that we needed to address.
Yeah, definitely, especially in falling on the heels of last week's topic, as you said, which was squirrel. So distraction. So here's the balance to distraction called focus. So tell me what your research says about focus, Dr. Tiffanie.
Absolutely. And so I thought it was interesting, because when it comes to focusing, a lot of people have issues with focusing and concentration. And whether you're talking about people who have ADHD or not. So we're going to talk about people who do not have ADHD. So we're going to take those people and take that out of this pool. Okay. So that's number one, because there was a study performed in about August of 2022, and they just polled people. And this was about 1,600 people. And this was a crucial learning study. And they found that 2 out of 3 responded struggled to focus on a single task, just one single task. About 68% said that they had trouble focusing at work. 68%. 62% said that they had trouble focusing at home. So, you know how you say, oh, I'm going to do the laundry, or oh, I'm going to clean the kitchen, or oh, I'm going to fold the laundry, or like you said, oh, I'm going to open that pile of mail. We get distracted, or oh, I'm going to wash the dishes, or oh, I'm going to vacuum, or you're going to do whatever. And so what are the causes? Sometimes it's stress and anxiety. Those were the frequently cited causes. Just distracting them from paying attention. Other factors included just poor sleep, sometimes depression, or just constantly being exposed to digital distractions. And that's not necessarily the phone. Anything can be a digital distraction. It could be the computer, email. It could be your phone. So anything, it could be a video game. So anything can be anything digital could be a distraction. So when it came to work, research showed that workers are only able to focus on a task an average of 12 minutes before being distracted.
Is this changed since technology?
Well, this is because of technology.
Oh, okay. Okay, because I'd be curious if they did the numbers before cell phones, smartphones, dumb phones. I'm guessing that it went quite high, or like you said, the computer games. I'd be curious to see a before and after.
Yeah. And they say it can take up to 25 minutes to regain focus afterward. And I will say that I am probably guilty of being a distractor to Mom Team, because she was like, oh, I was about to do this and then you called me. And I'm like, oh, fine. You're retired. Take the time off, take a break. You have all day. Talk to me. So I will say that I am a time stealer.
Oh.
I'm like reclaiming my time. So I am guilty of being a distractor. I will own up to that, especially with my mom team. I'm like reclaiming my time. So, and this is what they found. Younger versus older generations. Some surveys indicate that younger people are significantly more affected by focusing problems than older generations.
There's that time factor, or that I was just talking about, for sure. I don't think it's because our young people, there's something wrong with them. I think that there just are, by an exponent of 8, more things to attend to that the older generation, which I'm not a part of because I'm ageless, but the older generation certainly has had less to be, had less distractions to derail their focus. Let me just put it that way, right?
Yes. Now, while they didn't delve into that and they talked about digital distractions, my guess, and again, they didn't delve into it, but my guess is that younger generations are more apt to being digitally inclined. And so since they are more familiar with more digital platforms, they're able to surf more digital platforms than some of the seasoned people.
I would agree with that. Just trying to teach someone who's a nanogenarian or even an octogenarian how to use, first it was the remote, right? that was difficult. And then Lord knows a smartphone, Lord knows a tablet, Lord knows, a computer to sign on and do all those things. I feel bad for them, actually, because they don't have that the mental synapse. The more you repeat something when you're young, you create that neural pathway. Well, if you've never had to think digitally or remotely, using the remote, you don't develop those connections. So it is harder. And I don't know how many times I get asked the same question. My bonus mom was 92 when she passed. My bonus dad is 95. My mom that just passed was 90. And if I counted how many times they asked me the same question, I'd be a millionaire.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and it's not like they're into it. They just have an aversion for it. And it's like, I don't really have time for that. I don't want to be bothered with that. And they don't want to necessarily do it. And
well, mine wanted to be bothered with it, but they just couldn't grasp it and or retain it, which is a little different than, screw y'all. I mean, there are those. The grumpy people you're talking about. Yeah.
And so I think it's a different generation kind of issue there. But what I did find was that when you are trying to focus, there's the focus as the verb, and then there's the focus as the noun. And so the focus as the verb is the intense mental action where you tend to concentrate really hard and you absorb and you become engrossed and you kind of immerse yourself into something and you are directing your attention and you are just pinpointed into something and you zero in and you're targeted. Whereas there's the noun version and there's the state of being focused, which I thought was very interesting, where this is still of focus, but it's a different type of focusing where you kind of like meditating and it's a focal point and it's more of an airy, light, kind of less stressful thing. And I was like, oh, and then there is the adjective type of focus. And I was like, oh, okay. So where you are deeply engaged and you are alert and attentive, but you're watchful. And I was like, I never looked at it that way. What about you?
Yeah, I was told, because I used to be called like the number one multitasker in the world because I could, do 18 things at the same time, that actually I wasn't, that there's no such thing as, what did I just call it? Right? Juggling all the balls in the air at the same time, that it's serial. Like I can only pay attention to one thing at a time. And I just switch real fast, which I still thought was a good thing until they told me that it takes you 20 seconds to get back where you were at that level of focus before you changed your focus to something else.
But that's still pretty good because even if you look at a juggler, when they have all those balls in the air, they grab one at a time and then they toss it up and they grab another at a time, then they toss it and they're still tossing. They still have all those balls in the air. And like I mentioned the last time, when it comes to, a woman's brain is kind of like a computer with all these files open, but she's addressing one file at a time. Then she'll close one file, open another, close another file, open another. And what I thought it was interesting when they said, why is it important to focus? We used to say, who, what, when, where, why, and how. And you want to look at all of those reasons. And they say the importance of focusing lies in its power to drive success, enhance our productivity, and improve our well-being by enabling our goal achievement, because it helps better time management, higher quality of work. And there's some key benefits to focusing, like I mentioned, because it helps our learning and mastery, and it also will help reduce our stress and anxiety, which in turn will help us live longer, productive lives. I think that's important because no one wants to die young and beautiful. We want to live long and beautiful.
Yeah, notice you're not putting the other possibility in there. Old, ugly, and dumb. Yeah, so interesting. My only caveat, though, is focus is good as long as you're focused on something that is helpful. If you're focused on something that you cannot control and you don't like it and you keep focusing on it, it will grow bigger. That whole negative slant will literally loom larger when you are focused on something that is not feel good. So that would be, so it's not, focus isn't always positive. Focus isn't always successful, as you just said. It depends. It's assuming that you're focused on something that will bring more success, right? So ruminating, as I call it, or ruinating on something that you don't like or hasn't gone well or dropped through the cracks or isn't under your control, like many things right now are, that's not successful. Your ability to focus on that is going to hurt you.
Absolutely. And right now, try to live for a better tomorrow, not focusing on the chaos of today, but trying to live an impactful life. And how I started saying, I am focused on having an impact, because it's one thing to complain about what's happening, but it's another thing to do something about what's happening. And I think it's important to find your voice. So focus on what you can do to make a happier you.
Know when to hold and know when to fold. I live by that one. Or that, and is this the hill you want to die on? So again, balancing out, yes, do action, do something, don't just talk about it, but are you really doing something that is going to equate your intent and your impact? Your intent is to be helpful. Is your impact really helpful? Right? You think it's helpful, but the person you're doing it to, do they think it's helpful?
Things that make you go,
Little moose drop on that one. I'll take that. La 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 la. My Canadian version of talking about the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
And this is a good time to focus on a break. We're in that place where we have to take a station ID on this NBC News Radio channel, KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. Breaking for news, weather, traffic, and a word from our sponsor. Don't go away. Chuck Woolery used to say, we'll be back in 2 and 2. It'll be faster than that. So peace in, peace out. Don't go away. We will be right back.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pei.
Hello, my name is Tiffanie Tate, and I was not always a doctor. I became a doctor And I am a mother, a veteran officer of the United States Navy. I come from humble beginnings, and I want to let you know that I understand what it means to struggle. I was raised in a single parent household, and I was the youngest of 3. And I want to let you know, if you give me the opportunity, I will go to Capitol Hill and I will advocate for you. I understand that the economy is struggling right now. I understand that you need help right now. And if you visit my website at drtateforcongress.com, that is DrTateforCongress.com, learn about me, consider making a donation to my campaign. Help me, help you. You will learn that I am the woman for the job. I am the veteran for the job. I am the physician for the job. I will advocate for you. I will make the policies to put money back in your pocket to help make affordable housing, a better economy, better healthcare for you. Paid for by Dr. Tate for Congress.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pei.
And welcome back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, home to the Asian Oprah, #1 talk in the IE. Thank you very much. And streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, and of course, my YouTube TV channel, where if you pre-subscribe, give me the finger. This one, not the other one. You will tune in every weekday morning at not naturally high noon. I used to be at noon. I'm now the morning show at 9 a.m. Pacific time every weekday morning. And it's a show about hope and happiness. And I have special guests and series. Today is Wednesday, as you can see, because it's time for Doctors in the House with myself and
Dr. Tiffanie Tate.
And we are talking today about Pocus Focus. And before I forget, I want to do a little happy birthday, dear Chloe May, who is my best big girl in the whole wide world, turning 28. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, darling.
Happy birthday, beautiful.
Yeah. All right, back to focus. Focus on focus. Tell me more about focus, Dr. Tiffanie.
Yes. When we focus in life, it is an intentional, direct ability for our energy and actions towards a clear goal and values. And it helps allow us to achieve. So it helps us to filter out distractions, like we talked about last week, and engage in meaningful work. That's right. And so it helps our brains to develop a vision for our lives. And so it, as in addition to direct setting our specific goals for our lives, we can help come up with a specific plan to achieve those goals. Whether you create a mental board or a specific visual board, whether you write it out, you can come up with consistent efforts to achieve it. And so some key components, the why, when we're talking about the who, what, when, where, why, how, the why is our clear vision. It'll help you understand like your core values and your purpose. So it helps provide the foundation. I know when I was planning out what I wanted to do in life to become a physician and Dr. Marissa to get her PhD, we had to know what we wanted to do. School, we had to get our education. The what, our specific goals, defining our clear, achievable objectives. That was what we wanted to do. She wanted to be an educator. I wanted to practice medicine. That was our achievable goal. Our action plan, this was our how. So devising a strategy and the steps to take to achieve our goals. And this is crucial in making progress toward those things. Now, I don't know what that is for you. You know what that is for you. But those are some of the things that will help it. And then you can come up with a daily schedule or routine. And that's the win, how you're going to assess it and put it into action.
Yeah. Yep. Good advice. I know for me, it's easy for me to focus on things that I really like doing. It's not so easy to focus on things that I'm not crazy about. And I love probably 80% of everything I get to do. 20% of it, I need to reinforce my ability to focus I bribe myself or reward myself is a nicer way of saying it. So I say, if I do 15 minutes of this that I really don't want to do, then I will reward myself with blank. And so the things like Candy Crush, I will play with the lives that I have, and then I'll go back. That's my reward for getting through a portion of something that I need to do, or go and I try not to do it around food because that's like not a helpful way. Definitely of rewarding myself, but certainly, trip to the thrift store. I love finding beautiful clothes that are in a thrift store that I can do something with and look like $1 million without spending $1 million. That's one of my life mottos. So I reward myself, and that's a way to help me focus.
I think that's absolutely fabulous because when you focus, you definitely end up with a better quality of life when you focus on something positive. Now, don't focus on trying to hurt people because that's just not good. Negativity only breeds more negativity, and that's just real, people. I don't care who you are. The cycle is not good, and karma eventually comes back to you. And we've seen that historically. So I don't care what's going on, but I digress. So productivity and efficiency. By eliminating the distractions and dedicating your full attention to something positive, I will say the gym.
Good one.
The bed is so good and so warm in the mornings. I literally have to talk myself out of getting out of my heated blanket. And I don't care how warm it is outside. Yes, I still sleep with a heated blanket because I don't like cold sheets. And I love my warm blanket. And I have a warm heated blanket with a weighted blanket on me because that way I can snuggle with it. And I have a little squishy pillow that way I can hug up with it and snuggle with it. So that's my snuggle bear. And so I am just like snuggled with my heated blanket and my weighted blanket. And I am just like, oh, and I really have to pray, dear Lord, give me the strength to get out of it and go to the gym. And I have to focus to get my buns and my derriere out of the bed and take my lazy bones to the gym. But it requires
Go ahead.
growth. It requires focus and personal growth. But
Yeah.
I do it. And you have to do it too sometimes. Whatever your gym is, your gym may not be the gym. It may be something else. But mine is literally the gym.
I have a cartoon that says, my bathing suit said, Dr. Tiffanie, get out of bed and go and work out and get in the pool. And Dr. Tiffany's sweatpants and weighted blanket said, nah, you're all good. Go stay in bed.
Basically.
I just personalized a cartoon just for you.
Absolutely.
So yeah. I actually will when I do, like this morning, it's my gym day. I do it every other day, and it is easier, and I'm grateful that I have a gym downstairs, so I don't have to get in the car to go to the gym. But that doesn't mean it's easy. But when I do that and then I finish my lap swimming, I literally will say, "Good job, mama." Like, I will give myself the props. That also helps keep me focused.
Mm-hmm. You literally have to give yourself positive affirmations, because if you don't praise yourself, why should you expect other people to praise you? You have to positively affirm yourself, and you have to have intentional living. Instead of being swept along by circumstances, focus on what allows you to be you and content with your life, and what is going to reduce your stress. You have to live for yourself and not live for others. It's good to help other people. I'm not saying don't help other people. Goodness gracious, not at all. I help other people all the time. Sometimes I have in the past helped other people to my detriment. I have read the book Boundaries a couple of times because it took a couple of times for it to sink in. Because I was raised by a bleeding heart sap, and I am a bleeding heart sap, but I now flex my boundary muscle. And I know when to say when. And I think you have to learn to create your own reality.
Absolutely. I say the short form of that is, how the for do you expect anybody to applaud or agree or support or think well of you if you don't do it yourself? If you can't approve of yourself, how the fork do you expect anyone else to approve of you? So certainly that is one of my core Happy 88 Foundation tools is, you got to bake your own cake, babe. If you can't bake your own cake, you're going to fall apart if you don't get the icing. Icing is criticism and compliments. But you are the boss of baking your own cake.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you can improve your focus. And you can improve your focus by prioritizing sleep. Everyone has different sleep hygiene habits. And I know that I have been guilty of not prioritizing my sleep. I still, as a board certified OBGyn, my body sometimes goes back to those sleeping habits. Even though I am retired, it's like my body cannot shake that sometimes. But you should try to aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Some people are used to getting 4 to 5 hours of sleep, and I can function on that. Oddly enough, I can. So if that's you, I think that's fine, but you should try to get 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night. And if you can get in a nap in the afternoon because you don't work and you're retired, hey, I think that's good. But lack of sleep has been proven to show that it affects your cognition and your cognitive function. And you want to improve your diet. A healthy, well-balanced diet that's rich in whole foods, fruits, vegetable, lean protein, not that fast food, fatty stuff. You want healthy fats, which can improve your cognitive function, is good for you. You want to stay hydrated. I was talking to someone at church who shall remain nameless, was like, "Oh, I barely drink a half a bottle of water a day." I was like, and so he was like, "Here, drink some of my water." I said, "I don't sip water. I gulp it, and I can gulp a whole bottle of water." Maybe next show, I'll show you because I can gulp a bottle of water like that. I mean, literally in like 30 seconds to a minute. I said, "If you give me your water, you won't get it back," because I was in church and I was thirsty. And it's like, "Here, take a sip." He said, "What, you don't want to drink after me?" I was like, "Number one, I need a whole bottle of water. Don't tease me. I need a whole bottle of water. I don't sip it, I gulp it." And so that's That's how you should avoid dehydration. What about you, Doc? How do you drink water?
I drink it very carefully, and I love the flavor. And I do sparkling water that has 0 calories. And I know that doesn't count; it has to be filtered, blah 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 water. And I have it on from a nutritionist that's not true. That even that qualifies as drinking water, and it is. We do the best that we can, right? If you get to 100%, do 80%. Don't should yourself. But it is focus. It is your choice. That's the thing that I think people have this BS belief system that they're being forced to do bad things. Like anytime I hear parents say, well, those commercials shouldn't do that, right? It's like, no, you don't have to watch it, right? You don't have to talk about it. You don't have to look at it. That's called power. You have the power to not buy it. You have the power to not talk about it.
Or not read it. You don't have to ban books.
Yeah, don't read it, for God's sakes. You can tell this is one of my goats that I leave out sometimes that people get is when I hear the excuses of, blaming McDonald's for the kind of food lacking nutrition or whatever it is. I shouldn't focus on McDonald's, but anywhere. Well, they shouldn't sell such and such, or they should make better, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, you keep buying it. And so, or like news shouldn't be so, if it bleeds, it leads. Well, you keep watching it. So it's not their fault. It's our fault. We drive what trends through our focus. And if you complain about something, you're focused on it and you're giving it energy that it loves. That's why when people do bad things, I don't want to talk about it because I'm giving them fuel, right? I'm giving them attention to highlight what it is they're doing. That's why we don't have K words or T words or anything on the show.
Absolutely. Now you want to make sure you stay hydrated because if you're dehydrated, that can lead to brain fog. So that's important. And exercise, at least 30 minutes of moderate to intense exercise most days of the week. Not even every day, just most days of the week, because it improves blood flow and cognitive function. So you want to make sure you get that done because you want to get it in. And it helps to reduce stress. And you want to limit alcohol, avoid tobacco if you can, because it helps, and try to quit smoking because that can also affect you. I think it's important that we always stay focused, and you want to focus on the quality of your relationships and who you're giving your attention to, because focus is important. What do you say, Doc?
Yeah, it's your choice. Focus is the most powerful tool you have as a human being. Animals have less focus because they have, normal instincts that they are operating on. Salmon swimming upstream to mate. They don't have a choice. They can't focus and go, I don't think I want to do that today. I want to do that like tomorrow. No, they do that. We as human beings have a gift called focus. And that is, I think, one of the biggest diseases that is affecting us these days, which is why I'm on this thing around personal mastery. We have abdicated our focus to whoever has the loudest voice, to whoever has the most shocking story, to whoever has the meanest thing to say. Nobody would know about that if you didn't talk about it. When people message me and say, blah, 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 I now say, I'm sorry, I do not pass on anything that is preying on people's anxiety, fear, worst case scenario. Not going to do it. I'm not going to be part of that. So that's my choice.
Absolutely. Now, one thing I did find that I thought was interesting is that ultimately you may want to shift important facts from your short-term memory to your long-term memory. And science says that this process takes 8 seconds. I was like, 8 seconds. And it says to shift information from your short-term memory to your long-term memory. If you want to encode that, just count it by 8 alligator seconds. So 1 alligator, 2 alligator, 3 alligator, 4 alligator, 5 alligator, 6 alligator, 7 alligator, 8 alligator, and it'll help lock it in from your short-term memory to your long-term memory.
For example?
So say, for instance, if there was someone who I just met and I wanted to remember their name. So say I met Sally Sue, and you're bad at names, and you wanted to lock it in to your long-term memory instead of your short-term memory. And so you're going to say Sally Sue, 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 Sally Sue. You're going to lock that in from your short-term memory into your long-term memory. And you're going to do it, and you're going to count it out for 8 alligator seconds.
Well, that's cool because 8, I love 8. It's a number in Chinese. It's a homophone for good fortune. I will try that because I am notorious for saying, I'll let you two introduce yourselves because I have no clue what their name was, and I just learned it like literally 5 minutes ago. So I'll try that. 8 alligators. Now you're going to look like an idiot though.
But just use your fingers.
And not out loud. Okay. But still, like you're going to be focused out somewhere for 8 seconds. I guess I could say I'm going to the bathroom.
You can go to the bathroom, or you can use your fingers behind your back.
Okay. All right. I will try to give that a try.
I thought that was pretty neat. I was like,
yeah. So locking short-term memory into long-term, extending your focus.
Yes.
Is the name of that game. Cool. Anything else?
No, I think that about wraps it up. That was pretty cool.
That is a great conversation about focus. I hope that you are focused on the things that you want. Oh, I'm so glad I get to say this. This is one of the most powerful tools that I learned from Abraham Hicks. When you don't like something, so someone says something to you that was mean, let's just go with that. And your tendency is to say, that jerk, or for me, I would say, if I look like you, I'd be miserable too. Under my breath. Not nice, but I'm not happy with that person, right? So my focus is on how could they say that? How could they do that? I didn't do anything that blah, 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 blah. And I'm focused on negative behavior from other people. And I talk about it, and I rant about it, and I go to people and I write about it, or I post about it. And my focus is on what I do not like, what I do not want. And that is shooting myself in the foot. Because the more I focus on what I don't want, the more I'm going to get what I don't want. Have you ever noticed, oh, that person just spit? And then I think about it, and guess what? That person just spit too. So if I focus on what I don't want, I'm going to get more of what I don't want. The trick is to focus, to turn your focus on what I do want. So a mean person, I know what I don't like. Now I focus and turn my focus to what I do like. Who is nice in my life? My younger daughter, Sarah, my friend Anne-Marie, my co-host, Dr. Tiffanie. So I am purposefully using focus in the best possible way for me. Isn't that interesting? I'm so glad you raised that, because all of a sudden I remember saying, I got to talk about that. And I almost forgot. So I am one alligator, two alligator concept from my short term to my long term.
Okay.
Final word.
My final word is a quote, actually maybe two quotes. One quote is by Tony Robbins, and it says, "Your life is controlled by what you focus on." And I thought that that was pretty significant, because if you are focused on negativity, your life is going to be controlled by negative things. So try to focus on something positive in your life, something achievable in your life. And that's what you want to focus on. And always remember, your focus determines your reality. And that was by George Lucas. And I think that when you do that, you will get more out of your life. Both of these are positive ideas. Now, this one is an anonymous quote. I said two, and I can't count. This is three. You get what you focus on. So focus on what you want. And I believe, basically, I'm an eternal optimist. And so when you look at your life and you strive for things, look at Dr. Marissa and I. We are Renaissance women, and we are constantly reinventing ourselves, trying to invigorate this world and make it a better place. You can do the same thing too. We are no better than you. And that, my friends, is my final word.
Awesome. My final word is, what are you doing this Saturday? Come have free champagne and 25% off all jewelry. I am doing a book signing at J&L Jewelry, my first time at a jewelry store. So it's in the traffic circle, Long Beach. Hey, you may keep me from flying, you little bugger blood clots, but you cannot keep me from my happy 88 mission, 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. J&L Jewelry, you can find them online for directions, but if those of y'all local, you better be there. All right, that's it for me. It's all about balance. Peace in, peace out. World peace through inner peace. Take us out, Dr. Tiffanie.
Now go and have the best day ever.